Rizal's homecoming in 1887 to 1888. After 5 years of memorable sojourn in Europe, he returned to the Philippines in August 1887 and practiced medicine in Calamba. He lived the quiet life of a country doctor, but his enemies, who resented his knowledge, persecuted him, even threatening to kill him. Decision to return home. Because of the publication of the Noli Me Tangere and the uproar it caused among the friars, Rizal was warned by Pasiano, his brother. So, kay na-print naman to or na-publish ang Noli Me Tangere, gibalaan siya or gi-warn siya sa iyang brother nga si Pasiano. And Silvestre Obaldo, his brother-in-law, Chingoy or Jose M. Cecilio and his friends do not return home. So dili siya pabalikon sa ilahang lugar. But he did not heed their warning. So wala jud siya ni patuo. He was determined to return to the Philippines in the following reasons. So Rizal determined to return in the Philippines for the following reason. The first is to operate his mother's eyes. Second is to serve his people who had been oppressed by Spanish tyrants. And third, to find for himself how Donoli and his other writings were affecting Filipinos and Spaniards in the Philippines. And fourth, to inquire Leonor Rivera. So in a letter of Blumentritt, his friend, rather, written in Geneva in June 19, 1887, Rizal said, "Your advice that I live in Madrid and continue to write from there is very benevolent, but I cannot accept it. I cannot endure the life in Madrid where everything is a voice in wilderness. My parents want to see me and I want to see them also. All my life I desired to live in my country by the side of my family. Until now, I am not uh, Europeanized like a Filipinos of Madrid. I always like to return to the country of my birth." So maon na ang um, gisulat nga letter para ka Blumentritt. Yang gi-write niya para isend niya dito ni Blumentritt nga kanang wilhan siya mouli jud diri sa iyang lugar. Say diri sa iyang lugar. The delightful trip to Manila. Rizal left Rome by train for Marseilles, a French port, which he reached without mishap. On July 3, 1887, he boarded the steamer Digemna. Ano siya pagbasa? The same steamer which brought him to Europe 5 years ago. There were about 50 passengers, including 4 Englishmen, 2 Germans, 3 Chinese, 2 Japanese, and many Frenchmen, and 1 Filipino, which is Rizal. So Rizal was the only one among the passengers who could speak many languages, so that he acted as interpreter for his companion. So when Rizal left Rome by the train of Marseilles, which is a French port, uh, on July 3, 1887, nisakay siya pinagi sa steamer, the Digemna, and the same steamer siya which is kanang ang gadala niya patubang dito sa Europe 5 years ago. And on board there were about 50 passengers, including na si Rizal, and si Rizal is the only one Filipino among all passengers, and he is the only one also who could speak many languages. And then he acted as an interpreter for his companion. So the steamer was en route to the Orient via the Suez Canal. Rizal thus saw his historic canal for the uh, first and second time. The first time was when he sailed to Europe from Manila in 1882. On board, he played chess with fellow passengers and engaged on lively conversation in many languages. Some passengers sang, others played on piano and accordion. After leaving Aden, the weather became rough and some of Rizal's books get wet. So, on board, so naana sila nasakay na sila ng ilang sakyanan, which is the steamer. The weather became rough and all the books that all the books of Rizal got wet. At Saigon on July 30, he transferred to another steamer which is the Hai Pong, which was Manila bound. On August 2, this steamer left Saigon for Manila. So arrival in Manila. Rizal's voyage from Saigon to Manila was pleasant. On August 3rd, the moon was full and he slept soundly the whole night. The calm sea illumined by the silvery moonlight was a magnificent sight to him. Near midnight of August 5, the Haipong arrived in Manila. Rizal went ashore for a happy heart, for he once more trod his beloved native soil. So, in August 5, ang iyang gisakyan na Haipong arrived in Manila. So, si Rizal, kanang happy kayo siya kay kanang iyahan nang na para niya na feel na niya nga naano siya sa iyahang town. So naka-step na siya dito sa sa soil nga iyang natawhan. So happy na siya because willing kayo siya mo uli. Alto nga time, he found Manila the same as when he left it 5 years ago. So there were the same old churches and buildings and same halls and roads and some boats on the Pasig River and the same hairy walls surrounding the city. So mao ra gyapon the same surroundings ra gyapon ang iyahang nakita since katong ni left siya. So happy homecoming. On August 8th, he returned to Calamba. His family welcomed him affectionately with plentiful tears of joy. Writing to Blumentritt for his uh, homecoming, he said, I had a pleasant voyage. I found my family enjoying good health and our happiness was great in seeing each other again. They shed tears of joy and I had to answer 10,000 questions at the same time. So, naabot na siya og Manila and nakauban na niya iyang family and gi-welcome siya with plentiful tears of joy. So, anak ka, happy ang iyang family na welcome sa iya. So, nag-write na po siya dito sa iyang friend nga si Blumentritt. So, mo to iyahang gisulat. So, great and happy and um, there's a tears of joy and he had to answer 10,000 questions at the same time daw, Anastasia. So the rejoicings of Rizal's turn over his family became worried for his safety. So despite anang kahappy-happy nila, gabala ka pod ang iyahang family sa iyahang pag-abot. Pasiano did not leave him during the first days after arrival to protect him from any enemy assault. So ang iyahang brother nga si Pasiano wala ni hawa sa iyahang side kay giprotektahan na siya from the enemy. His own father was not let him to go alone, lest something might happen to him. So, ang niya pong father, wala po ni biya niya kay basig na ay mahitabo nga lain niya kay daghan siya enemy because sa iyahang book nga no limitang here. So, in Calamba, Rizal established a medical clinic. His first patient was his mother, who was almost blind. So, nagtukod siya dito og medical clinic sa ilang lugar, sa Calamba. And his first patient was his mother. Katong iyang mama kay almost blind naman to, nag-operas, gipa-operehan niya yung mama sa mata. He treated her eyes but could not perform any surgical operation because of icon cataracts were not yet ripe. So, kuan di ay wala niya na operahan, wala niya na make surgical operation because eye cataracts were not yet ripe. News of the arrival of the great doctor from Germany spread far and wide. So, nikalat na dito ang mga news sa Kalamba nga doktor siya mo na known iyang pangalan as a doctor. Og naabot na jud sa Germany. Yes, sa Germany and far and wide. So patients from Manila and provinces flock to Calamba. So daghan na kag nangabot nga pasyente para magpatambal niya. Rizal who came to be called Dr. Oliman. So gitawag na siya Dr. Oliman because he came from Germany, treated their ailments, and soon he acquired a lucrative medical patient. His profession fees were reasonable, even gratis to the poor. Within a few months, he was able to earn 900 pesos as a physician. So, naka-earn na siya because he is a doctor. By February 1888, he earned a total of 5,000 as medical fees. Earn siya, it's because nag-establish siya og medical clinic. And then, daghan na siya kay patient from Manila. Unlike many unsuccessful medical practitioner, Rizal did not selfishly devoted all his time to enriching himself. He opened a gymnasium for young folks where he introduced European sports. He trained to interest his townmates in gymnastics, fencing, and shooting, so as to discourage the cockfights and gambling. So, naana po siya mga nalain na po nga mga I mean na unsay tawag na establish sa nag-open na po siya og gymnasium for young folks. Where is nag-introduce siya og mga European sports such as gymnastics, fencing, and shooting para ma-discourage tong mga binuhatan na mga dili maayo such as cockfights daw and gambling. So Rizal suffered one failure during his 6 months of sojourn in Calamba. His failure to see Leonor Rivera. He tried to go to Dagupan, but his parents absolutely forbade him to go because Leonor's mother did not like him for a son-in-law. So, 'di ba na-appeal man to sa iyahang kuano asa ganito sa diri he was determined to return Philippines for a following reason to inquire while Leonor Rivera remained silent. So mao niadto siya ni try siya adto dito sa Dagupan, but his parents absolutely forbade him. Wala siya gisugdan sa iyang parents because Leonor's mother did not like him for a son-in-law. Dili ganahan ang mother ni Leonor, which is Leonor is Rizal's wife. Diba? So, with a heavy heart, Rizal bowed to his parents' wish. He was caught within the iron grip of the costume of his time, and marriages must be arranged by a parents of both groom and bride. So, nagpa-arrange marriage daw sila. Storm over the Noli. So, storm over the Noli. Meanwhile, as Rizal was peacefully living in Calamba, his enemies plotted his doom. Aside from practicing medicine, attending to his gymnasium, which he established, and taking part for his town's civic affairs, he painted several beautiful landscapes and translated the German poems of von Wildernat into Tagalog. So aside po ng mga ayang pagka-doktor and na siya na-establish ng mga gymnasium, naapadod siya laing na-establish which is kanang nag he painted some or several beautiful landscapes, and he also translated the German poems of von Wildernat into Tagalog. So napadrila na-achieve pag uli niya sa Calamba. A few weeks after his arrival, a storm broke over his novel. So, after a few weeks, abot siya sa Calamba, bali nahalungkat kato ang iyahang gi-write nga novel nga Noli Me Tangere. One day, Rizal received a letter from Governor General Emilio Terrero on 1885 to 1888 requesting him to come to Malacanang Palace. So, nag-send niya og message or nag-write og message niya which is si Governor General Emilio Terrero nga nag-request niya nga padun siya sa Malacanang Palace. Somebody had whispered to Governor's ear that the Noli contained subversive ideas. So, muna nasagap nga news ni Governor Terrero. Rizal went to Manila. Rizal went to Manila and appeared at Malacanang. So, niadto siya dito sa Malacanang Palace. When he was informed by Governor General Terrero of the charge, he denied it, explaining that he merely exposed the truth, but he did not advocate subversive ideas. Pleased by his explanation and curious about the controversial book, the Governor-General asked the author for the copy and Noli so that he could read it. Rizal had no copy then because the only copy he brought home was given to a friend. However, he promised to secure one of the Governor-General. So, pag adto niya sa Malacanang Palace, the Governor-General read the book Noli and find it explaining nga dili kanang ikadaot ang unod sa libro kundi should we say pawang katotohanan lamang. Okay. Kanang ang mga unod sa libro wala niya na find out dito, na realize niya nga ang gipangsulti ni Rizal dito is very truthful. Yes, and wala ga-advocate of any ideas nga ikadaot sa ilahang should we say society or community. Yes, that was all about the Noli. So, nangayo og copy si Governor General Terrero, but Rizal had no copy because the only one copy he brought home was given to his friend. So Rizal visited the Jesuit fathers to ask for the copy he sent them, but they would not part with it. The Jesuits, especially his former professors, Father Francisco de Paula Sanchez, Father Jose Bech, and Father Federico Faura was were glad to see him. He had a spirited discussion with Father Faura, who virtued an opinion that everything in it was the truth, but added, "You may lose your head for it." So, kato po mga tagaan mga copy, na find out po nila nga all of the writings of Rizal in the book of Noli was very true. Everything it was the truth. Yes. But added, you may lose your head. So, unsay basabot ani ni Father Farah. Fortunately, Rizal found a copy in the hands of friend. He was able to get it and give it to Governor Herrero. So, nakakita siya copy of one of his friends. And the Governor Herrero was uh, a liberal-minded Spaniard. Knew that Rizal's life was a jeopardy, uh, jeopardy because the friars were powerful. For security measures, he assigned a young Spanish lieutenant, Don Jose Tavel de Andrade, a bodyguard of Rizal. So, for the safety of Rizal, nag-assign si Governor Terrero og usa ka lieutenant, which is si Don Jose Tavel de Andrade. Masya bodyguard ni Rizal. The lieutenant belonged to a noble family. He was cultured in new painting and could speak English, French, and Spanish. So, si Lieutenant, cultured in new painting. So, kakuan-kuan sila ni Rizal and could speak English, French, and Spanish. So, mano siya ang bodyguard ni Rizal. Governor General Terrero read the Noli and found nothing wrong with it. So, moto, na-realize ni Governor General Terrero nga wala jud siya makita nga mali sa gi-write ni Rizal nga Noli Me Tangere. But Rizal's enemies were powerful. The Archbishop of Manila, Messenger Pedro Payo, a Dominican, sent a copy to the Noli to Father Rector Gregorio Echevarria of the University of Santo Tomas for examination by a committee of the faculty. The committee, which was composed of Dominican professors, submitted to report to the Father Rector, who immediately transmitted to a Archbishop Payo. The Archbishop, in turn, lost no time for forwarding it to the Governor General. This report of the faculty members of the University of Santo Tomas stated that the Noli was heretical, impious, and scandalous in the religious order and anti-patriotic, subversive of public order, injurious to the government of Spain and its function the Philippine Islands in the political order. So, na-found out nila dito nga Noli was an heretical, impious, a scandalous, and a religious order. So, na-found out nila dito nga ang gisulat ni Rizal, which is the Book of Noli, is heretical, impious. And makako siya og a scandalous and religious order siya. With many more. So Governor General Terrero was dissatisfied with the report of the Dominicans. So dili satisfied ang governor, for he knew that Dominicans were prejudiced against Rizal. So mao dili siya satisfied sa mga giingon sa mga Dominican because murag against pod sila sa Noli. He sent the novel to the Permanent Commission of Consorship, which was composed of priests and laymen. The report of this commission was drafted by its head, Father Salvador Front Agustinian Cura of Tondo and submitted to the Governor General on December 29. It found that the novel to contain subversive ideas against the church in Spain and recommended that the importation, reproduction, and circulation of this pernicious book in the islands be absolutely prohibited. So, pinagbabawal siya na i-import, i-reproduct, or i-revise, yes, ang novel. So, it is prohibited na ipakalat, in short, ang book of novel. Book of Nolly, or the novel Nolly. So, when the newspaper published Font's written report of the censorship commission, Rizal and his friends became apprehensive and uneasy. The enemies of Rizal exulted in unholy glee. Oh, and the banning of Nolly only served to make it popular. So anybody wanted to read it. News about the great book spread among the masses. What the hated Spanish masters did not like, the oppressed masses liked very much. Despite the governor's prohibition and the vigilance of the cruel Guardia Civil, many Filipinos were able to get hold of copies of Noli, which they read at night behind closed doors. So, despite anong pagbabawal or prohibit unsa gitawag ani kanang the importation of the book of Noli was prohibited. So nagyapon sila yung mga copies kay ginews man siya, so nakalat na siya. So there are many Filipinos were able to get hold the copies, and they read it they read it at night behind closed door. So naala sila yung mga copies sa kanya-kanyang sariling mga bahay. So thanks to Governor General Terrero, there were no mass imprisonment for mass execution of Filipinos. He refused to be intimidated by the friars who clamored for harsh measures against people caught reading the novel of his author. So wala ra niya um ingon nga kanang example mag siya og batas na mapriso ang kanang mga magbasa ani nga novel kay gibawal na ko ni. Yes, wala ra siya nagpainana. So dito sa attackers of Danoli. So the battle over Danoli took the form of the virulent war of words. Father Font printed his report to distributed copies of it in order to discredit, discredit, discredit the controversial novel. So another Augustinian, Father Jose Rodriguez, prior of Guadalupe, published a series of 8 pamphlets under the general heading Continunes de Sumo Interest, or Question of Supreme Interest, to blast Donoli and other anti-Spanish writing. These 8 pamphlets were entitled as follows. So Father Jose Rodriguez, so nag-publish si Father Jose Rodriguez og mga um, series, which is the 8 pamphlets kay para what do you mean by this? Matabunan ang kanang controversial against Noli, gani kanang malahi na pud ang mga makahiligan sa mga tawo na basahon. So nag-publish siya og series, which is the 8 pamphlets. So the 8 pamphlets named Por qué no los hidilir, or Why should I not read them? So, and then the second was the Guardias de Alice Porque. So beware of them. Why? The third is Ike me dice usted de la peste. So, and the meaning of this, and what can you tell me of plague? Fourth is porque triunfan los impios. Why do the impio why do the impious triumph? Fifth is the criosted kidiveras no hay purgatorio. Do you think there is really no purgatory? Number 6 is high on a high inferno, or is there no hell? Number 7, Keliparis Osted Jesus Labilos, or what do you think of these libels? Number 8, which is the last, is the confession o condemnation, or should we say confession or com or confession or damnation. So that was the 8 pamphlets. Pamphlets ba yun? Yes, pamphlets, which is written by Father Rodriguez, were sold daily the churches of Mass. Many Filipinos were forced to buy them in order to not to displease the friars, but they did not believe what their author said with hysterical fervor. So, wala gyapon og mind ang mga Filipino, so they continue reading about the book of Noli. So, repercussions, 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 nabulol na repercussions of the storm over Noli reached Spain. So, naabot na siya Spain. Ang controversial sa the novel Noli. It was fiercely attacked on the season hall uh, of the Senate of Spanish courts by various senators, particularly General Jose de Salamanca on April 1, 1888, General Luis M. Lipando on 1888, April 12, and Senor Fernando Vida on June 11. The Spanish academician, the Spanish academician of Madrid, Vicente Barrantes, who formerly occupied high government position in the Philippines, bitterly criticized the Noli in an article published in La España Moderna, or a newspaper of Madrid, in January 1890. So, na-publish jud ang Noli. So, namatay attackers of Noli, so naputay defenders of the Noli. So, the defenders of the Noli, the much maligned Noli had its gallant defenders who fearlessly came out to prove the merits of the novel or the refute of arguments of the unkind attackers. Marcelo H. Del Pilar, Dr. Antonio Marigidor, Graciano Lopez Haina, Mariano Ponce, and other Filipino reformists in foreign lands, of course, rushed to uphold the truth of Noli. So, naatay defenders of Noli, including na sila ni Marcelo H. Del Pilar and iyahang mga kuyog na mga reformist in foreign lands. So, sila ang ni-defend against, ni-uphold sila for the truth of the Noli. Father Sanchez, Rizal's favorite teacher at the Ateneo, defended and praised it in public. So, napod ang yahang teacher na si Father Sanchez pod mo. Ni-defend pod siya sa Noli. Defense po siya sa Noli. So, Don Sigismundo Moret, former Minister of the Crown, Dr. Miguel Moraita, historian and statesman, and Professor Blumentritt, scholar and educator, read and liked the novel. So, muna sila ang mga defenders of Noli. So, a brilliant defense of the Noli came from the unexpected source. It was by Reverend Vicente Garcia, a Filipino Catholic priest scholar, a theologian, and uh, a Tagalog translator of the famous Imitation of Christ by Thomas A. Kempis. Father Garcia, writing under the pen name Justo Desiderio Magalang, wrote a defense of the Noli, which was published in Singapore in an appendix to a pamphlet added July 18, 1888. He blessed the arguments of Father Rodriguez as follows. So nagama pud siya og pamphlets against sa gigama ni Father Rodriguez. So, Rizal cannot be number one, Rizal cannot be an ignorant man, as Father Rodriguez alleged, because he was a graduate of Spanish universities and was a recipient of scholarship honor. So, gitubag ay ni, kinsa ni siya, ni Father Garcia, ang magipang gama po ni Father Rodriguez. So, number two is, Rizal does not attack the church in Spain. So, defend jud maayo ni Father Garcia ang Noli. Father Rodriguez claimed because the was Rizal attacked the Noli were the bad Spanish officials in Spain and bad and corrupt friars and not the church. Number three, Father Rodriguez said that those who read the Noli commit mortal sin. Yes, amo na giingon nga kuno nga whoever read the Noli will commit og mortal sin. Since Father Rodriguez read it, therefore he also commits the mortal sin, diba? So mo siya gi right bod ni Father Orsia. So later, when Rizal learned of the brilliant defense of Father Garcia of his novel, he cried because his gratitude was overwhelming. So, cry si Father Garcia. Rizal himself defended his novel against Barentis' attack. In a letter written in Brussels, Belgium in February 1880. In his letter, he exposed Barentis' ignorance of Philippine affairs and mental dishonesty, which is unworthy of the academician. Barentis met in Rizal his master in satire and polemics. So, Rizal itself, i-defend po siya siyempre sa iyahang kaugalingon and sa iyahang novel, which is the Noli. So during the days when the Noli was the target of the heated controversy between the friars and their minions and the friends of Rizal, all copies of it were sold out and price per copy soared the unprecedented level. But friends and enemies of the Noli found it extremely difficult to secure a copy. According to Rizal, in a letter of Fernando Canon of Geneva, June 13, 1887, the price he sent per copy was 5 pesetas, which is equivalent to 1 peso. So, ang copy sa Noli nga katong iyang gisend or giingon niya ni Fernando Canon was only a copy. 1 peso. 1 peso ra. So, but the price later rose to 50 pesos per copy. Pero nitaas siya or ni-decrease ni-increase ang iyahang uh, price into 50 pesos per copy because kanang they they price per copy soared into unprecedented level. So, ano siya, ilahang gipatasan ng kahoy para dili na kaayo makalat ang yes, mao na akong pagsabot na naman. Hindi na kayo makalat ang ilahang copy. So, Rizal and Tavil de Andrade. So, Rizal og ang iyahang katong si Lieutenant katong iyahang bodyguard. So, while the storm of Noli was raging in Furry, Rizal was not molested in Calamba. This is due to the Governor Herrera's generosity in signing a bodyguard to him. Between the Spanish bodyguard, Lieutenant Jose Tavil de Andrade, and Rizal is beautiful friendship blooms. So, kung safety kayo si Rizal and wala siya uh, demolish. Kung sa ba na? Yes, because protected siya ni Lieutenant Koan Andrade. And then later on, they have a beautiful friendship together. Yes, together Rizal and Andrade both young, educated, and cultured. So magasinabot sila because parehas sila educated, cultured, made walking tours and the verdant countryside. So para sila kahiligan. So ka-vibe sila. So mauna naka-build sila of beautiful friendship. So discuss topic of common interest and enjoy fencing, shooting, hunting, and painting. Yes, Lieutenant Andrade became a great admirer of the man he was ordered to watch and protect. So years later, he wrote of Rizal. So ano yung ni Andrade, ni Lieutenant Andrade. Rizal was refined, educated, and gentlemanly. The hobbies that most interested him were hunting, fencing, shooting, painting, and hiking, and so on and so forth. I will remember our excursion of Mount Makiling, not so much for the beautiful view, as for the rumors and pernicious effect that result from it. There was one who believed uh, and reported to Manila that Rizal and I, at the top of the mountain, hoisted the German flag and proclaimed the sovereignty of our Philippines. I imagined that such nonsense emanated from the friars of Calamba, but did not take the trouble to make inquiries about the matter. So muna ang letter nga gisulat ni Lieutenant Andrade. Andrade ba yun? Yes, Andrade. Dito ka Rizal. So, what marred Rizal's happy days in Calamba with Lieutenant Andrade were the death of his older sister Olympia, and number two is the groundless tales circulated by his enemies that he was a German spy, an agent of Bismarck, a Protestant, a Mason, a witch, a soul beyond salvation, and etc. So, besides kanang despite sa mga kanang enjoy nga life na Rizal with Lieutenant Andrade, so napod siya ka ng sad moment nga or kanang kaguol kay namatay ang iyang older sister nga si Olympia, and um, ang iyahang mga enemies nga ginahinganlan siyang German spy, a great an agent of Bismarck, and many more. So, na siya sa um under na sa Rizal and Tavil de Andrade's journey. So, di napunta sa Calambas agrarian trouble. So Governor General Terrero, influenced by certain facts of Noli Me Tangere, ordered a government investigation of the friars' estate to remedy whatever iniquities might have been present in connection with land taxes and with tenants' relation. One of the friar estates affected was the Calamba Hacienda, which the Dominican order owned since 1883. In compliance with the Governor General orders, dated December 30, 1887, the civil governor of Laguna Province directed the municipal authorities of Calamba to investigate the agrarian conditions of the locality. Upon hearing of the investigation, the Calamba folks solicited Rizal's help in gathering the facts and listing their grievances against the hacienda management so that the central government might institute certain agrarian reforms. After a thorough study of the conditions in Calamba, Rizal wrote down his findings, which the tenants of three of the officials of the hacienda signed on January 8, 1888. These findings, which were formally submitted to the government of action, were the following. First is the hacienda of Dominican order comprised not only the lands around Calamba. So number two is the profits of Dominican orders continually increased because of the arbitrary increase of the rentals paid by the tenants. Number three, the hacienda owner never contributed a single. Second is the profit of Dominican order continually increased because the arbitrary increase of rentals paid by the tenants. So number three is the hacienda owner never contributed a single centavo of the celebration of the own fiesta for the education of the children and for the improvement of agriculture. Number four, tenants who had spent much labor in clearing the lands were disposed of said lands for flimsy reason. Number five is the high rates of interest were charged the tenants for delayed payments of rentals, and when the rentals could not be paid, the hacienda management confiscated the Carabao's tools and homes. So mao na siya ang kuan po nila controversial nila sa farewell ba yun? No way, dili. Sa Calambas Agrarian Trouble. So nagka-trouble ang ilahang asyenda because of um, the informal actions nga gigama. So dito sa farewell to Calamba, Rizal exposed the Rizal exposure of the deplorable condition of tenancy in Calamba infuriated further his enemies. The friars exerted pressure on Malacañang Palace to eliminate him. So, diri na time ang iyang enemy or kanang gikontra na siya maayo tungod sa iyang book. So, they asked Governor General Terrero to deport him, but the latter refused because there was no valid charge against Rizal in court. So, uh, ang mga few Filipinos in Calamba ga-request na ni Governor Terrero nga ipa-deport na si Rizal. But sa court wala sila kanang enough na ganing what do you call this one? Enough nga kanang or valid nga reason or valid nga charge against Rizal. So, anonymous threats against Rizal's life were received by the parents. The alarmed parents, relatives, and friends, including Lieutenant Tavel de Andrade, advised him to go away for his life was in danger. So, advice na lang siya sa iyang family, friends, nga mukuan na lang siya, muhawa na lang siya sa ilahang lugar kay uh, his life was in danger because of the novel. no limitang here. One day, Governor General Terrero summoned Rizal and advised him to leave the Philippines for his own good. So, ang general na mismo niingon niya nga, pahawaon na siya sa Philippines para for the sake of his life. He was giving Rizal a chance to escape the fury of the Friars' wrath. So, sa mga kasuko sa mga Friars, itagaan siyang chance ni Kuan ni General Terrero nga mo escape lang siya sa Philippines. So, this time, Rizal had to go. So, mulakaw na si Rizal and he left Calamba. So, he could not very well disobey the General's veiled orders. So, sa General naman mismo ni ingon niya. So, ipatuon na lang siya and Rizal had to go. But he was not running like a coward from a fight. He was courageous, a fact which his family's friends, and he could fight better his enemies and serve his country cause with greater efficacy by writing in foreign countries. So wala gyapon siya ni Ondan despite nga daghan na kaayo siya and daghan na kayo ni kuani nga ni attack niya nga mga enemies. And nagyapon siya, ganahan nagyapon siya mo serve sa iyang country o padayon nagyapon siya sa pagsulat sa bisag na siya sa foreign countries. So, a poem of Lipa. Shortly before Rizal left in Calamba in 1888, his friend from Lipa requested him to write a poem in uh, in in commemoration of the town's elevation to a villa or a city by virtue of the Becerra Law of 1888. Gladly, he wrote a poem dedicated to industrious folks of Lipa. He was the Himno al Trabajo or the Hymn of Labor. So before niya left si Rizal sa Calamba, a friend of Lipa requested nga mo write siya og poem. So, gladly he wrote a poem and gidedicate niya sa mga industrious folks of Lipa, which entitled The Hymno al Trabajo or in English, Hymn to Labor. So he finished it and sent it to Lipa before his departure from Calamba, and it runs as follows. So, na siya gi-write nga poem, Hymn to Labor. So, he read the poem written with 5 stanzas, 6, yeah, 5, I mean, 5, and it contains the chorus, men, the wives, the girls, and the boys. So, mao ning yung gi-write nga poem before siya ni deport from Calamba. Hymn to Labor. For our for our countries in war, for our countries in peace, the Filipino will be ready while he lives, in and when he dies. As soon as the east is tinted with light, forth to the fields to plough the loam. Since it is work that sustains the motherland family and the home. Hard through the soil may prove to be impel, implacable the sun above. For motherland, our wives and babes, to will be easy with our love. Courageously set out to work. Your home is safe with a faithful wife, implanting in her children love for wisdom land and virtuous life. When nightfall brings us to our rest, may smiling fortune guard our doors. But if cruel fate should harm her man, then wife would toil on us before. Hail, hail, give praise to work, the country's vigor and her wealth. For work lift up your brows serene. It is your blood, your life, your health. If any your protest his love, his work shall prove of he be good. Then man alone who strive and toils can find a way to feed his brood. Teach us then hardest task, for down thy trials we turn our feet, that when our country calls tomorrow, thy purposes we may complete. And may our elders say, who see us, see how worthy of their um, series. No incense can exalt and dead ones, like a brave son who appears. So that was the poem of Lipa. So muna siya gisulat ni Rizal before siya nilipart to Calamba. And that was the end of our topic. So our topic is the first homecoming of Rizal in 18 uh 1887 to 1888. So that's all. Thank you.